Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from podweather.com and IPR365.com with the latest on the tropics. Taking a look at where we should be this time of year, we're right about here and we're at a low point, but trust me, just in the next 2-3 weeks, we're going to see a dramatic increase in storms. And then as we get towards September, we'll see a lot of activity. So for those doubting the season's activity, I'd be willing to bet we see a season along the lines of above normal for sure. You can see what's out there now. We do have a tropical wave that moved off Africa. We've been tracking it, and it moved through the Lesser Antilles and is currently over Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Now, there's an upper level low in here, and that's shearing the wave. However, this wave was what the Canadian was showing developing into a tropical storm or hurricane moving into the Gulf of Mexico. So keep an eye on it, even though the chances of development are slim at this point. In the eastern Pacific, there is a little spin there. That appears to be trying to develop into a depression. It's under a little bit of wind shear, though, and it's close to the coast. But that could be our next eastern Pacific storm. You can see the wind shear, as I was mentioning. The eastern Pacific, it is still over our system that's trying to develop, which is why it's not developing quickly. And then, of course, our tropical wave over Puerto Rico is getting sheared as the flow around this upper level low continues. And you can see right near the center of the upper low, wind shear is low for obvious reasons. And as this moves to the west-northwest, the wave should follow. That's really the only thing of note in the Atlantic basin. Sea surface temperatures in the Caribbean and the Gulf are well above normal. These are actually a tropical cyclone heat potential, and you can see just south of the Louisiana coast is very warm, and then in the Yucatan Channel near Cuba, extremely warm as well. But even if we had a hurricane in August moving where we have these blues, we could see it blow up into a Category 5 hurricane. I think that's something we underestimate. I mean, Dennis and Emily weren't even over the reds back in 2005. They were over more bluish green sea surface temperatures on the map, and they blew up into Category 4 and 5 hurricanes. So all it really needs is 82, 83 degrees, and it could do a lot of damage. Now here's the GFS model, and we're seeing a pattern shift. You can see the pattern now with troughiness off the east coast and the ridge of high pressure, meaning that if anything did come out of the tropics up here, there's a good likelihood that it would be able to turn out to sea. Well, watch what happens by about next Monday. The whole pattern shifts to where we have high pressure pretty much straight across the Atlantic, to where if anything did form, it would be forced to move closer to land like we saw in 2004 and 5. How long this may hold is unknown. It should hold well into August. Whether or not it holds throughout September and October, that's a whole different story. But this is definitely a dangerous scenario to where we'd have Cape Verde hurricanes, and unlike last year where they turned, they would be continuing towards the United States. So that is not good news in the least, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Eastern Pacific, you can see the thunderstorms off Mexico. Keep an eye on that. What was our tropical depression out here is since disintegrated, and this is Cosme, almost a hurricane. You can see a little eye trying to form there. And here's the latest on it, 65 miles an hour, very near hurricane intensity, 994. It's forecast to become a hurricane later tonight or tomorrow, and then weaken into a tropical storm and weaken into a depression by the time it's going south of Hawaii, although it may attain tropical storm status for longer than indicated. We'll have to wait and see on that. And you can see the latest visible satellite image shows that it's still not popping out an eye, but it is close to becoming a hurricane, and we may very well have Hurricane Cosme soon. Man-Yi, still a weak tropical storm, 50 miles an hour, is moving out of here faster than this map even shows. And you can see the track up here is a depression and then a storm, and it became a Category 4 typhoon and battered the southern Japanese islands, and then turned and struck Japan as a Cat 1. They've got an earthquake there today, not dealing with Man-Yi, dealing with earthquakes, but not Man-Yi anymore. And you can see it on satellite right there, starting to move on out even faster, and it shouldn't be an issue. And nothing of likelihood development behind it, although this little feature moving into the western Pacific does bear some watching. So I'm Mike Naso, that's the latest in the tropics, and I will see you next time.